I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Amendments to the agenda. You want to put some time on for this?
Yeah, I was gonna request the board to put some time on to talk about the water bill that just came out, as well as a few minutes for personnel in an executive session.
No, we're not going to do the executive. Oh, okay. So two different items.
Two different items, yeah.
All right. So we will. Anybody want to make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion that we put the discussion on the water bills. Are you looking to do it up front in the agenda, like around the 5-minute comment?
Yeah, I think we do it as soon as possible.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we put the water bill discussion under item 5 of the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then we've got an executive session.
I'll make another motion to add personnel 1 VSA 213A4 to have a discussion of
Personnel, yeah.
with personnel.
In executive session. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Okay.
Carol.
Yeah.
Yes, so you're all psyched tonight. Oh. All right. Approval of minutes of August 11th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of August 11th, 2020 as written.
Is there a second? Second. Thank you. Additions, deletions, corrections. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay. All right, so the agenda now has 5 minutes for public comment. John?
Any further information on the Beaman Pedestrian?
Right now, no. The insurance company is sending their adjuster out just to make sure it is as it is, and they'll be here next Friday.
I called them, or very soon, we got a telephone call, somebody, who was near us,
Yep.
and when the one went in, not,
Wonder why what hasn't been done.
three, has been replaced.
We're waiting on the insurance adjuster. Okay.
We gotta wait. We're gonna do it until we find out what insurance company's gonna tell us. again. I would think. They run the world. Anything else? Is there anybody else outside? No? No? Okay, I just don't wanna. Thanks. Thanks, Rob. I wanna make sure people know we're here. Okay, no other public comments? All right, let's go into the what?
Yes.
We're going to want to hear from the people that are on Zoom before we.
We're gonna go into the water meter discussion, yes. I think what we'll do, and I'm winging this, but we'll do an overview. We'll do the overview that you wrote up, and that will probably that'll probably stir up some emotion. One of the things I would ask that everybody understand that there's a level of frustration with all this whole situation, And it won't help if we're yelling and accusing and telling everybody that they're not telling the truth. Everybody here
At one time.
Everybody here is here for the benefit of the town, and we're trying to do the best we can. We will give you the information we have. It is not complete at this point. We sent meters out to be tested today. We are expecting to have them back in 2 weeks. That will help a little bit. The staff is gathering data at all the time, and Bev and Joe have been working like crazy, and Mike been working like crazy to get data to us. It's not all compiled, but we'll give what we have, and then we'll hear concerns, and we will take them as we go, and we'll answer as much as we can, as succinctly as we can. And when we get to the point when we're all repeating ourselves, we'll wait for 2 weeks and get some more information. This is going to be a long process, but it's going to be as transparent as possible. And so that's the promise I make. So Joe, start us off.
Okay, so I'm going to give some information that's going to make me the bad guy, and I understand. These are not going to be popular opinions. My information comes from solid data that we gathered from the meters, and not only from the new meters, but from the old meters, and the information is pretty consistent. I'm not going to read the entire summary, but I will hit the highlights. In a synopsis, all households, most households I will say, use more water in the summer months. That's just a fact that happens. We make more water, we use more water in the summer. Residents, I understand, will see their bill and they'll say, my last bill was less than this bill. And that's true. That's because the last bill was produced over a cold winter month. If you compared, for the most part, if you compare your summer bills to your winter, or your summer bills to your summer bills, you'll see almost no variation. Almost none at all. Maybe 1,000 gallons per household. Another factor that made this look remarkable was that this is a 4-month billing period. Typically, we do bill quarterly, which is every 3 months. This time, because the new system came through, our guys were able to read the meters faster, so there is an extra month on there, and Bev can talk to the billing cycle when we get to her. And, yeah, please mute yourself. Okay.
I think
Very quickly by the numbers, 88 residents did get information in the mail saying they had a leak. 36% of those people saw almost no change to their summer bill, which means maybe that you were watering just as much as you were last year, but the meter read the watering as though it was a leak. This may happen. It could be too, if we said you had a burst, you were filling your swimming pool and didn't let us know. That happens too. It could be that you filled the swimming pool a second time. It's what we're seeing happen. 10% of those 88 people that got notices actually saw a decrease in their bill, which is weird. You wouldn't think that, which was surprising to us.
What could explain that? Just out of curiosity.
To be honest, it could be they were just high users last year, and maybe they had a leak last year. Maybe they didn't fill their pool. It was definitely surprising. 38 people did see an increase in their water bill. That's 43% of the people that received our notes, and that is what we expect. The meters are saying, hey, you have a leak, so we expect water usage to go up. But just looking at those particular meters, the ones that had a leak, that really doesn't identify, it wouldn't identify a problem, right? Because we're saying these meters have leaks. We expect an increase in usage because we're saying you have a leak. To kind of get around that problem, we did a random sample. I have a list of all the meters in town. We pulled a random sample to see what the average person was looking at. 60% saw the same amount of usage. And this is what we would expect. Between summer months and summer months, people do not change their usage dramatically. 20% saw an increase in usage, and we're defining increases between 3,000 and 5,000 gallons. That's typically what we're seeing from a summer month. Hang on, John. 10% actually saw a decrease in their summer usage, which again, that's a personal choice. We don't have any way to determine how that's happening. All that said, when we started doing this process, when we started changing the meters, we started pulling information immediately. We do have 78 samples that we pulled before this happened. Of those 78 samples, we show a negligible increase of 200 gallons every 3 months. That's an average of these users. You see an average of 200 gallons every 3 months. This 200 gallons, though, includes a large leak of 86,000 gallons off of one of our accounts, number 708. Now, when you pull out the outliers, when you pull out those big users and those big leaks, and then you pull out the people that have used like 18% less, what you're seeing is actually an increased average of about 100 gallons a quarter. So pretty much we're flush. We're at level with where we have been. The meters are not reading more. They're not reading less. They're exactly where they have been reading. And with that, so I am recommending to the board, I have a piece of paper in front of me that I handed to the board that is available here in Town Hall. I am recommending to the board to just keep our payment process as it is, require bills to be paid on time as usual, as we see zero evidence that there's any flaw in these meters. Also, with that said, we did send 5 meters out to be tested. Those meters will come back hopefully in 2 weeks, and we'll be able to reconvene and talk about the results. But there is, again, no evidence that they're bad. If they are bad, we will go after the producer of the meters. We have a 20-year guarantee on these meters. If something is flawed, it's on them at this point. These meters are brand new. And at the end of the day, we'll figure it out. It's just another road bump to get over. And I understand people have passion around this. They have emotion, and I understand it's not personal. I guess that's all I have.
Questions for Joe? John?
Well, I went back to 4/22/19, had the function of 8.
Can you speak up a little bit, John?
John, speaking to the microphone.
Anyway, 4/22/2019, had a consumption of 8.
Yep.
4/16/20, and the meter was in its 5. And now I'm up to 20 on this last bill, 9 rather, on this last bill. And that's a little, what you're talking about, a little longer period of time, we want to see a 6 or 7.
No. Nope, John, you're actually less than you would be. Your average usage in the summer is 8. You've used 9,000 gallons for this summer, which means your average monthly consumption is 2 1/4, which is less than what your average monthly consumption would be. So you're less.
I mean, I'm not saying we've got a big problem, but I don't think we do.
We don't.
Well,
And people fill the pool, like Joe said, and they don't let you know what the meter reading was before you started, and after.
I get that we think we've got a good system. I think we do too. We agonized over what we had. But when people are getting large bills, it scares them, and I don't want to dismiss their frustration. So we can't just say carte blanche, there's no problem. They may have to be treated individually. I'm guessing that's what we're going to have to do, is we're going to have to go through each one of the people that are really playing. I mean, I got one of the notices myself. I had a water heater that I think leaked maybe one day. It says 21 days. I can't prove it didn't. You know, so but I'm, you know, I'm from below 10 to 26,000. So it's a shock, to say the least. But there are some people that have much higher bills, and all we want to do is be able to say to all the folks that are upset, here's what we know, and here's what we assume, and here's what we absolutely know. So there's a difference. I think for us, testing the meters is prudent. It's probably going to come back with what you guys are already seeing, but we have that basis. Anything that we can do as far as researching the data is a great thing. I think this is a good start. As a professor once told me, now flesh it out. But I don't want the people that are upset to think that there's, if you look at Facebook, which I do way too much, you would think that the world is coming to an end and there's a great conspiracy here in the town of Fairhaven. There isn't. We have very good staff, very dedicated staff, and they're doing their best with the brand new program. That there are some surprises and maybe some glitches, maybe not. Maybe it's working exactly the way it's supposed to be. We're going to find out. Is there anybody on Zoom that has questions?
Yeah, I do.
All right, would you identify yourself for the clerk?
Yeah, hi, my name's Heather Eichard.
Thank you.
So my bill went up, my consumption went up by 62. My bill is $1,306, which is absolutely crazy. But I got that note and it says, while processing meter readings for the upcoming water sewer billing. Is that for the upcoming or is that for this bill?
That's for this bill.
So why, excuse me? So if I get a plumber out and they can't find a leak, then how do we explain this? I mean, that's a lot of water, so I'd have to like notice that leak, right?
That is a significant leak.
That would, yeah, well, mine went up 16,000. I can't explain that, but I'm gonna let it be explained. I have no idea, but that's a lot. I would get a plumber there, I really would, and see what they say. There's nothing, that's a lot, yes. And that's why we're talking about this, because it's scary when that kind of thing happens. We're not trying to gouge anybody. We're trying to help out by suggesting the plumber. That's why that's there.
Yeah, there's just a lot of people that got a plumber and they didn't find any leaks. So I'm just wondering what the next step. I mean, it says the sewer was $832. I mean, there's 3 people that live in this house.
Right, and one of the things that we can do, and we have done in the past, if we find a leak that bypassed the sewer, we can adjust that bill because it didn't go through the sewer. It leaked out, so there is a benefit to finding a leak for obvious reasons, so it stops, and secondly, that there's a process in place already to get that bill adjusted with the gallonage out of the sewer, if we can prove that. And we generally are receptive to that kind of thing. In the past, we've done that for many customers. So the next step is to find something and then go from there. But as I said to begin with, we're probably going to have to go through all of these large bills individually. Bev is looking at me like she's going to get me, but that's the way it's going to have to be. We have we have a duty to you guys to make sure that we're not making some mistake that we're not catching. And, we're gonna do that. But I think, Beth, go ahead.
May I just make a suggestion?
Sure.
If they're going to have a plumber come in, it needs to be a licensed, certified plumber, and we need something in writing telling exactly what was found or not found. Your brother-in-law, who is doing plumbing on the side for friends, is not a plumber.
Yeah, we need to, this needs to be on the up and up, in other words. We need to know that we're dealing with people who understand our end of it and their end of it and your end of it, so yeah, that just makes sense. I know that doesn't satisfy you, but does that give you any kind of a path forward?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we'll have to just wait and see what they say. I just feel like that's a lot of leak, and I would probably have noticed. We don't have a pool, and, you know, my husband's gardening is on a timer water, so I doubt it's that. But yeah, we'll look into it and see what we can find.
Ms. Eichard, we did go through the whole town yesterday to sweep, just to see if anybody had caught these leaks. If you did, you still have a leak. It's still coming up running.
Okay, we'll have a plumber come out.
So we were actually going to just start sweeping every Monday. It takes about 4 hours to go through and catch the whole town, just as customer service to avoid these large bills like this. If we catch it on, once a week instead of after 3 months, we can stop those bills from getting up to Ms. Eichard's.
Yep.
level.
If you can sweep the whole town in two days or whatever, why are we running a 4-month pay period?
I'm gonna let Bev respond to that.
Ridiculous. We're supposed,
May I answer that question for you?
the way this is going right now, if I want to sell my apartment house, I'm gonna have to say to them, guess what? There's a $5,000 property tax here and a $1,300 a year water bill. You tell me how many people are going to start buying property.
Go ahead.
Jay, to clarify this billing period, normally on the old billing system, it would take the water department and myself to completely read meters, do chase backs, me time to double check all the reports to make sure everything is accurate before the bills are printed. If I run into any issues, the guys have to go out again and check meters. That whole process under the old system could take anywhere from 6 to 7 weeks.
And why in the...
Let me finish.
Hold on.
Let me finish.
Holler at me, ma'am.
Hold
Don't
on,
holler.
guys, hold on. Just let somebody finish, and then questions can be asked.
To continue with the new system, this is the first time that we've used it going by the time it takes to read the meters. It takes the water department, depending on their schedule and any emergencies that might come up in between, it takes them a couple of days to read the meters and still walk around and do the meters that have not been changed under the old system. The data is brought to me. They are giving chase backs. They finish the procedure. Because I cannot change the due dates of bills because they are etched in stone by the select board and the town, it may have taken them less time to read the meters, but they started reading later because it takes less time. But the bills still had to go out at the same time because they're still due at the same time. This will not happen again. We are now on a 3-month period because we know exactly how long it takes with the new system to read all the meters, study the reports, print the bills, and get them in the mail, period.
I don't understand why, for the last 30 years I lived in town, the bills were always put out in 3 months. And that's when they're reading them the old one.
Because we started reading earlier.
Doesn't make sense. Still gave it 4 months. And there's no reason for it.
Yeah, let me ask the question that comes to my mind. I'm glad to hear it's not gonna be a 4-month bill again, because that's essentially a third more. Should people expect a third less the next time around, or?
It depends on their usage.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Common
theoretically.
sense wise, theoretically, that would be my thought,
That's kind
but
of,
there's no guarantee.
no, I mean, it has everything to do with usage, but people's, a 4-month bill, a 3-month bill should be a third difference, but
Theoretically, yes.
roughly.
Yes.
And, I mean, nobody can, I'm not holding you to that, but I mean, it should be, that should be the average, and we should be able to see that, overall.
And we do, when you divide out the, when you take the numbers and divide them out by the month, so by 3 or by 4, depending on what the payment is, you see the average stays pretty steady.
Well, that's one of the things that helped me a little bit. Mine, I mean, like I said, I can't really, I had that one.
There should have been a letter with the bills and stating it was a 4-month bill. It might have calmed a lot of people down. There's no reason for a 4 month. I don't care what anybody says. There's no reason for a 4-month bill.
But
We won't do it again.
the problem is that it's done, we can't do it.
I understand that.
No, it's
There's still
history.
no reason for a 4-month bill.
Well, I know, but it's history, we can't change that, we can only.
Knowing it, they should have sent everybody a letter.
We didn't know it at the time.
You didn't want the 4-month bill. It says right on my bill, it's 4 months.
Jay,
It says 4 months on my bill.
it does say 4 months. But at the time, we didn't pay attention to that. We were more concerned about getting the readings done, accurate, and out.
Yeah, and I don't want us to harp on history, except for where it can help people with their bills.
So does this mean that our next bill is only going to be for 2 months and then we're back in our regular every 3-month cycle?
It'll be a 3-month bill, but it should be a third less, right? Is that what it,
No.
actually both, it should be both. It should be 2 months, right? Right?
It'll be a 3-month bill. Whatever they're used to a 3-month bill being, it will be a 3-month bill.
Yeah. I
Excuse
guess what the question is.
Cycle time is different.
the
Yeah,
cycle-
it would be so helpful to have it that, like, you have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, you know? So it would be great to get back on that kind of schedule, you know?
That's what we're gonna do, Deborah.
Yep.
That's exactly what the plan is.
I have to agree with one thing. If we had a 4-month bill this time, the next billing period should be 2 months. If you went from April, May, June, and July, and the next time, how are you gonna figure it out? And we get charged an extra month back on the second billing.
It's based on, and I don't know the dates, but it's based on the dates the voters approved. Right? So
How did we gain a month here then? If we're in the same period, if we're in the same pay period, how did we gain a month?
they moved faster than we thought they would, is what happened. And we got the bill, what happened? We got the bills out sooner. The bills
It's
came
a
out. sooner.
4-month bill.
I know.
If the last one was a 3-month bill and the time before the 3-month bill, we're getting charged an extra month if the next billing is going to be 3 months.
That is not true. We are not billing an
2 months
extra.
old, we got
That
it
is just not true.
I think it is.
It's not true.
Well,
We
but
would not
the
bill.
cycle
Well,
has
where did we
changed,
get the
what you're
4th month?
saying. It's a
We're
different,
not.
instead of being January March, whatever it is, it's gonna be January, you're gonna switch to April, so the months are gonna change. But it's gonna be a 3-month cycle.
It's a 3-month cycle. We
Yeah.
are not overbilling
The months will
by
be
any
different.
amount.
And you can see that right on your bill.
Okay, I would hate that rumor to get out there, because that is not true.
So what would be helpful is, I think somebody said that on the Zoom, that if we got out the billing period, obviously there's gonna be a day or two here or there, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you could probably, without too much trouble, figure out a process that says, first quarter bill will be out between this and this day, and then the second quarter would be this and this day.
We already say that.
Okay.
The way we do things,
We should
the
publish.
due dates are set in stone.
Okay.
The due dates are June 30th, December 30th, March 30th, I missed one.
This one.
Don't ask me.
Right.
I'm done.
The bills always go out 6 weeks before the due date.
Okay. The due date is 9/30 on this, okay.
Yes.
I heard some discussion about because it seemed like one of the sore points was the notice that we met in good faith. We wanted to let people know they had, I understand that they had a leak. But if we notice, because especially when you, in a 3-month period, if someone's got a leak for 3 months, if we notice in that routine thing, do we have and we probably do, I'm just asking, do we have a way that we reach out and say, hey, you've got a significant leak here? I think we must do that anyway, but I just wanted
We've
to.
always done it. Even when we had the NIMRIC system, I always contacted people. The problem with the NIMRIC system was that I could only do it when they read the meters once every 3 months. And I wouldn't get an accurate report that said it was a leak or a sudden burst of usage. Alls I would get is a high-low report, and anyone that had extremely high usage compared to their normal average usage, if that person provided me with contact information like we've always asked for, then I was right on the phone to contact them and say, hey,
Yeah.
something's up, you need to look into it.
And my only other comment is, one thing you can do, we're trying to help when we say call a plumber. I get, but there's other things that we can probably do to help ourselves. Go down and look at our meter. If nobody's running any water and that meter's going and running there, you've probably got some water going somewhere. And if you're questioning how accurate your meter is, I'm a simple person that says, okay, how many gallons does your toilet use when you flush it, or what's the amount of usage? If it's not running, don't flush your toilet. I like to check, and what I've seen with when I do that with my meters, I've got the new meter in. I'm gonna tell you, it's been pretty good.
Various things that we do.
I'm not saying we don't have a problem, that some people that I've heard might be something, but I haven't seen.
Various things that we do suggest to people to try on their own.
Okay, but that doesn't cost money.
That doesn't cost money, takes a little time, but it helps them at least to have an idea. Put food coloring in the toilet tank. Don't let anybody use any water for 3 to 4 hours. If any of that color leaches into the bowl, you have something going on with your toilet. Whether it's a loose seal, whether it's a slow leak, there's something going on. If you know you're going to be out of the house, and everyone's going to be out of the house for an extended period of time, read your meter before you leave, write down all the numbers. It reads every single gallon that you use. Everything. Write the number down. When you get back, read the meter again. If no one was home and if no one was using water, but any of those numbers moved, you've got something going on.
Do we have someone with another question on the line?
We do. I have a Mr. Ivan Smith. Ivan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, you're on, man.
Good evening. I have one question, maybe another one if it crosses my mind, but let's say we call a plumber to inspect for leaks because of our water bill being so high, and the plumber finds no leak. and yet our water bill continues to be well, great timing, continues to be really high. And they find that there's problems with the water gauge. Who pays for the plumber? Does the town pay for it?
When you say water gauge, Ivan, do you mean the meter?
Yeah. If we have a defective meter but no leaks, would the town pay for the plumber?
I would say if you submitted a bill to me, I would say I would pay that, yes.
Okay.
But Ivan, just because there's no leak doesn't necessarily mean you're not consuming large amounts of water.
Yeah, well, I understand that now. I understand now that it's a 4-month bill. I get that. Even with it being a 4-month bill, $700 is off the chart. Yeah, at one point we were consuming 12 gallons in an hour.
Yeah,
and we hardly had the water on. So I'm going to be monitoring the meter more and more and see what, like what Beverly said. The idea is monitor the meter while we're gone or everybody's asleep. That's a good idea. But anyway, I was just wondering about that.
All right, thank you, sir.
Are there any other questions?
I don't have a question.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Could you identify yourself?
sorry?
Would you identify yourself, please?
Oh, yes, so I'm Deborah Fallon. So my question, I understand everything that you've said, and I will try to keep an eye on the meter and all that and see if I can find some problem. But comparing my current bill with the previous bill that was partially the same period from July to October, the usage is so much higher. So I guess it's possible that there is a leak somewhere, but I just want to say I was fully expecting to have a higher water bill for this period because we did plant a garden, trying to save money, avoiding going to the store. So I expected to have a higher water bill for this period, and I really didn't expect, what unfolded on Facebook, so many people being upset about their bills. I had intended to write a letter to the select board about my bill, and then I changed my mind because I wanted to see what would be said at this meeting. But there's an aspect of the billing that I just wanted to talk about. So on my bill this time, because the water consumption was 39,000 gallons. I've done the math and thought about it, like how much we watered our garden. I could see it maybe being 20 or 25,000. So it seems way more than I expected. But even if I wanted to just accept that yes, my water usage is much higher for this period. Like you said, during summertime, people have gardens, they water their lawns, they fill pools, there's all kinds of reasons why usage is higher at this time. But the water that I put on my vegetable garden and into flower boxes does not go into the sewer. And I was looking into different municipalities, how they bill for water. A lot of towns don't bill sewer charges for every gallon of water that's used. Like, to me, everybody knows that in summer people are watering their lawns. Lots of people have gardens. So it just seems to me that it's not quite fair to be charging it all as if it's going through the sewer. And I know there's a problem with how to pay for the sewer system. I realize that. But I'm just trying to imagine there are a lot of people who've lost their jobs. I know that, say, going into Auchan's to buy gardening supplies, they're sold out of things. All of the places that have supplies for canning. They're selling out of jars and lids because people are trying to grow vegetables because it's cheaper than going to the grocery store. And we're all trying to avoid being around other people too much, you know. So it just, at this time, especially charging, like, I cannot afford $523 for sewer use for water that mostly didn't go into the sewer, you know. So anyway, it's just something I wanted to bring up because I know other towns, some charge, you know, 60% of the water used, they charge sewer fees for, and especially in summer. There's usually, you know, there, a lot of places they offset it somehow. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up. I was intending to ask for an abatement for some portion charge for my bill. I probably will write a letter if you'd like me to, you know, make it a more formal request. But just in general, as an issue with billing, I don't think that's really fair in general. And especially when so many people are hurting money-wise, that's a huge chunk. Like, at my bill, okay, the water use charge is $264. I mean, you know, there's the base charges, but it's $264 for the water usage. It's $523 for the sewer use, and I'm sure, you know, it's only a small part of that went through the sewer. Like, my typical bill is about $8,000. This bill was $39,000. So anyway, I don't know what y'all, what your thoughts are on that, but I would like to hear.
I would definitely write the letter to ask for that. And like I said, these high bills, there is no way except to do them individually, to figure out where there could be a problem. But do the other end of it and get a professional to look at your usage. It seems high. It seems like something's wrong. Did you get a note saying that you didn't?
No.
No. Okay. So that seems very high. It can be checked. We can look at it and we know we're gonna be looking at a lot of them. Bev knows she's gonna be looking at a lot of them. And we have a lot more data in front of us that's much more easily read than before.
Okay.
So there's more things that we can compare and look at. And so, yeah, please write a letter. Please come and see, or actually, you'll write the letter first. We're trying to keep everybody separate, but we'll see where we go from there. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. I think we kind of have a little bit, but we've got individuals that we've got to look at. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, like, I think my question is more of, like, of course I want to solve my individual problem, but just as a matter of policy in general, especially in a time of real economic hardship. And, you know, I know there are many people who have lost their jobs or their incomes are way reduced, and it just would really help a lot to not be charged those sewer charges. So anyway, I don't know if that's something that y'all might want to think about looking at, you know.
It's something we've talked about in a different way, but we certainly can revisit it. You got somebody else? Sorry, we got somebody else we'd like to get in the discussion.
So, just as a note about Deborah's water, Deborah has an old meter. Deborah does not have a new meter.
She just got a new meter. All of her usage was on the old meter.
Yeah, so she was billed exclusively on old meter. That is not a new meter problem.
Which isn't reading high, that's for sure. If nothing else, right?
Well,
is that what we're assuming?
Yeah, no, they tend to slow down. Jen, you're up.
Hi.
Jennifer C.
Yeah, this is Jen Chapdelaine. Beverly, I know Chris called you on Friday, and thank you for putting that graph right in the mail for us. We just had a question. I know from what I've seen again on Facebook, it appears that there were several people in their note that were told that they have a leak or had a leak starting on the 16th of April. Our bill was significantly high. We have a plumber coming tomorrow just to check it out, so that'll be good on our part. But also, can you just talk a little bit again about if we got in our note, this little post-it note from you, Bev, that talked about whatever happened began on the 16th around 3:43 p.m. and continued through at least August 8th at 11:04 a.m. So that's a pretty significant time for a leak or a burst, whatever was happening. But can you talk a little bit more about the policy or what's happening on that side of things, where like reaching out to homeowners and saying like, hey, this is happening, like maybe reaching out within a few weeks of, when this could begin?
First of all, the date of 4/16 was your last meter reading for the previous billing.
Okay.
Okay. That just shows from that last meter reading up until this meter reading what it was reading at specific times. When the little window box came up and it had X amount of gallons per hour, that's what it was reading at that point. It doesn't mean your leak, if you have a leak, started on the 16th. The report actually only goes for the last 30 days.
Okay.
So whatever our report was reading, whether it said you had a leak for the last 21 days out of 30 or for 1 to 9 hours within the last 30 days. Excuse me. Once we start our more regular reading, like the guys are initiating once a week to start going around and reading all the meters, then we'll get more of the definitive when something spiked and when it went down. But right now, we've only been reading from one billing period to the next. If you notice on your bill, it'll say the start date of the billing period was 4/16. That's the date your meter was read last.
Okay. Mine says the 17th. I don't know if that matters. I know
Okay. Well, that just shows that it takes us more than one day to read.
Okay, so if they're going to be going around once a week, then we would be notified. I know earlier I think it was you mentioned if people gave their information, but we would be notified if there was a leak or something abnormal happening with the meter. We would be notified before the billing cycle's over.
Yes, and that's why we're going to do it that way, is
Okay.
to get information out to people sooner.
Okay, and then we do have a licensed certified plumber coming tomorrow. So if he does not find anything, am I correct in understanding that we have him draft a letter and we bring that to you at the office?
Yep, and then
from there.
Yep, and it'll go forward from there to Joe and the select board if necessary, and we'll analyze more information for you.
Okay. Thank you for all the information.
You're welcome.
Jennifer, just as a side on this one, so they checked the meters yesterday and your meter is still running?
Yeah, I got it. We have a plumber coming. We have I don't know where the water is going.
Okay, we checked it yesterday just as a heads up.
Yeah, we also still, Joe, side note, we also have a flooded driveway still, just to put that on your list. Sorry.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Joe? Anybody else?
Oh, we have no hands raised. Does anybody else have a question?
I do. I just have one more question. Heather Eichard.
Heather?
So if we're getting a 4-month billing cycle, I'm just wondering why the payment expectation is the same. If we're getting a longer period of billing, why are we still expected to pay in the same amount of time as if we were being billed for 3 months?
I think that's on the schedule that we have voted on, or I'm voted on, or it has been the schedule forever.
Yeah, but I mean, the schedule's messed up, obviously, because our bill is not the same amount of time.
As always, you're more than welcome to stop by the office, and we deal with every individual on a personal and individual basis. If you'd like to set up some sort of payment plan, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we just get charged interest on that though. You know,
That's correct.
so it's a longer billing cycle with less time to pay and no help with that.
You still have the same time period to pay. We
But
got
it's
the bills out
longer,
6
it's a
weeks
longer billing cycle though. You're paying for more time in the same amount of time. You're paying for
Yeah,
more
you're-
months.
It's an extra month, like, we get
Yes,
that.
yes. Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like that's being heard because I'm not hearing like an answer to what I'm actually asking.
Heather, shoot, give me, this is Joe, the town manager. If you call town hall tomorrow, we can talk about it.
Okay.
I have two things. Jeff Sheldon, Selectman. I understand what she's saying, and hopefully we're remedying that problem by getting closer to the dates in the future. So there'll just be a 3-month cycle. Correct, Bev?
Correct.
We understand with the COVID and people out of jobs and the whole thing, we understand that. We've been more than fair about people having trouble paying their bills and giving them time and giving them payment plans. So we will continue that. Mike?
I would just like to add, from the water department standpoint, I mean, with these new meters, you have so much more information out there that we can get per household. Before, it was just, you read the numbers and you had to accept it because there was no way to verify or deny or whatever. So by us doing this once a week, if we don't see a huge change from week to week, then we're going to start pumping it out like every couple of weeks or whatever. But as a water department, we're not the water police. I mean, the town statute is the consumers are responsible from the curb stop to their household. So, and we're just trying to supply much more information than we had before, but really nothing has changed. The meters only read through it.
Okay, anybody else on the phone want to talk about water meters?
We really should move on. We will revisit this again in 2 weeks. We'll have some more information, particularly with the meters that went out. Hopefully they'll be done by 2 weeks. This isn't. Oh, you got one more? I'm sorry.
Are we gonna start seeing the numbers on our meter, on our bills from the previous reading to the new reading?
Do they show that?
So we don't, all we get's a flat amount of, all there is right here is what you used. That's it.
On the other
Count number.
side.
On mine, I don't get it. It doesn't give you your meter readings. It tells you how much you've used, but you don't have your meter readings.
Yeah, I mean,
You used to have the meter reading.
It gives you the previous and current meter reading plus the consumption.
previous, yeah, there it is. Previous.
But you want the
That's
previous.
what they're saying. Where is your previous meter?
Right here.
What else is there?
Well, that's what you want.
Well, there's 7 numbers on your meter.
You're only charged for
40,000
12,000 gallons.
And that's why the consumption.
If you use 1,999, you're only billed for 1,000 gallons.
I understand that.
Then why
But
would
I
you
want
put the
to-
exact meter reading on it?
Never mind.
But,
The other meters, before you used to get the whole meter reading.
No, you never have.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have to differ with you because maybe in the last couple of years we haven't. We used to have. So that's all right.
Well, if you can show me, I'll gladly change things, but NIMRIC has been like that since I don't know when.
Okay. So just so wrapping up, we've got some things that we're doing. We'll be having some more information about what we found out from testing meetings. I think it's helpful for me to understand a little more about how, and I think we probably have an opportunity here to help everyone understand when they look at their bill, how the consumption rates and looking at those things when they're figuring out themselves too. So.
All right,
Next meeting
we will revisit this again next time. I would suggest anybody that has large bills to get as much information as they can, get a professional, and then come in, and that will be busy this next couple of weeks.
That's okay, I'll do
But we will get at this at every point we can, between testing, between looking at our meters.
Bob,
Yeah,
sorry, I had one other question, just a clarification. If people hire a plumber, the plumber finds no leak, they're going to bring the bill to Joe. That's what I just heard you guys say.
No.
That's
No,
what I heard, and I think a lot of other people heard that.
Ivan asked if a plumber comes in and the gauge ends up being broken, which I'm assuming he means meter, if the gauge is broken, who pays for the plumber? If the meter ends up being broken, we will pay for that plumber.
but the process in our water ordinances, our water ordinances are that it goes administration first, and then to the select board. I believe that's the way it goes.
So you have, if we deny it.
Joe told a woman on the telephone earlier. If
He absolutely did.
If she brings her bill in, he will write her a check. He told her that earlier.
He absolutely said that, so I want to clarify.
No, I was talking.
Jeff heard the same thing.
I was talking to Ivan, and Ivan asked me if the gauge was broken, if the meter's broken, who pays for the plumber?
The woman.
Right, so I just wanted to clarify that that's the way it is. It's if the meter.
It did.
If the meter is broken, we will pay for the plumber.
I heard it a little different than that. What I wrote down was that he said, if they find that there's no leak, the meter isn't broken, then who will pay for the plumber? And you said
No, I did not say that.
We'll pay for the plumber.
If the meter,
I just want to clarify.
If he can prove the meter is broken, we will pay for the plumber.
That's what you told him.
Yes.
But the lady a couple before that is not what you told her.
No.
Yes, Joe,
Jay, I know what I said. I would never say that.
Okay, never mind, because that's what you said. I heard you.
Well, I got a recording. I'll bring it back.
Okay, I hope you do.
Look it up, and let's find out. Let's not just argue about.
And just to add to that, if the plumber says there's no leaks, we have the ability to go into whatever household that is, and we can pull a daily reading from previous month to show, on every Tuesday they're using an extra 800 gallons or whatever it is,
That'll be helpful.
We're obviously not going to do this for every household.
Right.
But these ones that the plumber says that there's no leak, that he can find, and it's an extremely high usage compared to what it used to be. We can go in and tell them, on what day they've used what amount.
That'll be helpful. This is a new system. Whatever data we can get out of it, we will.
Yes, I'm in contact probably once a week with the Kim's truck reps, just because Bev's calling and asking me a question, and I've got to ask him. So today, we figured out how to be able to print a report out. We never knew to print out before. So, it's a learning curve for all of us, and we're all trying. And just as a side note, it would be very helpful for the people that haven't had their meters changed yet to expedite getting those appointments made so we can get it all done. So we're comparing apples to apples throughout the town.
Yep, that's true. We're gonna talk about that later tonight.
Yep, we will.
All right, we're gonna move on because, we kind of started to repeat ourselves. Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
Hope I answered.
See you later.
We want with David, Mike, behind. We want
Yeah, we could do that, actually. That would be
to-
fair.
that way we them up.
You're our only guest for the night. We're gonna jump ahead. You can thank Glenn for this. We're gonna jump ahead and talk about biking trails now. Hey, how's it going? You're on.
For those who can't see.
Yeah, so Mike and I have been bicycling for many years and hiking also and skiing around Inman Pond and Airport and anywhere up by Half Moon State Park and all around this area. And it just seems like it's a sport that more people are participating in right now. And so I guess we were seeking out some guidance from the town or some permission from the town as to how they might want to use town lands to basically make single track trails or just signage or some kind of participation in hiking, biking, skiing activity.
And from my perspective, growing up here and being a member of Slate Valley Trails, and seeing all the money that the Conines, the billionaires from Wayfair, have put into the town of Pulteney, and the elementary school is now has their own single track at their elementary school. It's been built for them. They've got interconnected. They have 50 miles of trails, and Fairhaven just basically we got an underutilized resource here. I took a gravel bike the other day. Used to be all clay up on Munger Road, through the meadows. When you guys put down the old asphalt and then Jeff Sheldon graded it, it's really is something. It's like a little highway. It's very solid, very nice, no mud anymore. People don't even know it. I brought a guy that lived here most of his life and goes, boy, if I'd known that I'd been risking my life on 22A and I could get to Sheldon Road by just going up the airport, he said, this is amazing. He said, yeah, and they've got, they've already got infrastructure for picnic tables, community gatherings. But Inman Pond itself is as beautiful as probably Chittenden Reservoir or something in the winter. If you've ever walked around Inman Pond on snowshoes, it's awesome. And just an underutilized resource. And I was up to David's land. We were doing some trail maintenance on an old carriage road that comes to the town forest, and I actually raked down through the town forest and got to the back of Inman. And, you got four-wheeler usage back there, and then Mr. Lulek would go, well, we do? Well, they shouldn't be back there. Well, that's the trouble. You don't even monitor your own stuff. If it was a parking place at the reservoir where you could park at the town water, at the water department there, if you had parking for 5 or 6 cars and you were allowed just to take a hike around it, of course you would have to hash it out, probably no dogs allowed since it's a water system. So there would be, like the city of Rutland, you're going to run into those problems. No pets, no motorized vehicles, snow machines, or probably four-wheelers. Probably shouldn't be watershed. And
We don't let, I don't know how far it goes, but we don't let loggers on Inman Pond. You have to use,
Right.
Or no power
For winter use.
So I'm not sure if that translates to four-wheelers and everything else as well. It probably.
It emits fumes and it has gas and oil. So.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying, I don't know if we've ever specifically said that, but it
Right.
kind of is implied because you you can't use an auger once you get there.
I've never heard of people, ice fishing there. I mean, never
Oh, yeah.
hear talk, but I guess probably.
Well, man, there's some regulars out there.
The person from the town that used it the most for years and years and years was your local policeman, Andy Brown. Walked there almost constantly with a black lab. And, most people don't even know it's there. And I was talking to some of the younger people in town, like Jay Buxton, that now have children that are going to be, young slaters. And everybody's got bikes and, they're riding around town, but really they have no destination. And I was asking, Jay asked me, well, how long do you think it would take a family to ride from Fairhaven up to Inman Pond and around? I go, even on old junker bikes, a 5-speed or a single speed, it would be a 2-hour adventure probably with your family, probably half hour to 40 minutes to get to Sheldon Road and then,
So Mike brings up a good point in regards to, like destination or distance, time. That's how you gotta kind of circle it around, is that a lot of people just enjoy riding the neighborhood in the streets. And that's how my kids first got started to learn how to ride a bike. Just the streets are quiet at certain hours, and that can be rewarding and enough exercise for a certain crowd of people. Not everybody is expected to ride from the park to Benson and back, or something that you might grow into that. So I think having that tiers or levels of identification of where it would be fun. Some people might just have a great time just riding up to the end of the airport road, turning around at the old barn and coming back to town. That might take 45 minutes if you've got little kids, or you might start at the airport and tootle around and then back. So
how do you suggest we get going on? I mean, it makes perfect sense. One of the benefits of this town is that whole area.
The Northwoods.
Yeah, the Northwoods, I call it that.
Yeah.
And the fact that the streets are fairly safe to ride a bike on.
Yeah.
And that there's a lot of walking, hiking trails. This is it's a great town.
Yeah.
And it needs, that kind of stuff needs to be advertised. Young people are looking for that when they look for houses.
Yeah.
They're looking. So how would you?
See it, Paul, starting out is like a kind of a mapping project.
Right.
Is to, first of all, find some central points, like Mike said, where it's okay to park, to start out from. And just like the rail trail in Castleton, people are parking at a certain spot, going on the rail trail, coming back, and they know that's a place they can park. They can go as far as they want, and then come back. And so I think the mapping, identifying parking spots, distancing, like Mike's real good at, distancing and timing for whatever level, so that you could then say, okay, this route is level 2, this route is level 1, this is Black Diamond Star.
The nice thing about the way Inman Pond is set up, you don't have to come up with small excavators and teams of people. It's really a weekend of mowing and maybe a chainsaw deadfall, and it's open again, because it's all slate-based, big, wide, beautiful road around it. So as far as, it's not a Slate Valley where you've got an excavator getting $90 an hour paid by billionaires to haul, make all these fancy trails. It's not that. It would be more of an easy volunteer thing, not a lot of money involved. And a thing that you got to ask yourself, do you want to do it as a town function? Or do you want to get like Slate Valley Trails? Once you get them involved, they'll take care of it. But then the advertisement is out there for the world to come here. I mean, I don't know how big you'd want it. Maybe you don't want an outside entity right now. It might only be a town of Fairhaven utilization thing without bringing someone like Slate Valley Trails into it. But if you wanted to, they have a trails committee. A guy could be here tonight talking about it. They would just, all you're doing is doing a 5-year commitment to Slate Valley Trails, saying that you give a parking lot to the public.
Here's the part that I always like. You know what you're talking about. Can you, without spending a huge amount of time, give us an idea of what we're looking at? I mean, give us an idea of the mapping
Yep,
of just, let's just say the Northwoods part of it.
okay.
So, and then we could figure out where we could park people. Right now, I mean, the obvious place is down by where the
Okay.
airport, where the hangar was.
Yeah, and there's a couple options. I mean, if you're taking it from town, you're utilizing your resources, which is the Fairhaven Airport to Sheldon Road. And of course, that involves the Sheldon family, which I don't think there's a problem there. My son's married into the family. Matter of fact, I'd like to see my grandchildren see, more bikers and stuff utilizing the area.
It's all town road through there anyway, Mike.
Yeah, it's all town road.
Yeah.
So that's not an issue.
Right.
And-
Right now, I think that probably the biggest issue right now is the gates, how they're set. But I mean.
Yeah, and I didn't even find that. I mean, I went over towards, where you guys get your picnic tables, and I went around the gate on a gravel road, not on the actual air surface, but like an in-between road, I guess, and kind of surpassed that gate. And I was just there last Tuesday night, and like I said, I couldn't believe the shape of the road. I mean, even kids on, single speed beater bike could ride it. It's not that demanding to go. And next thing you know, you're at Sheldon Road, and then it's an easy ride to get to Inman Pond. But as far as Inman Pond itself, you have to start where all your fencing is, where the actual water plant is.
Right.
So somewhere around there, you have to have enough room to park 5 or 6 cars. You would have to have something like daytime usage. You don't want people there at night, so it'd be when the water plant's open, say 8 at night to 5, usage of the land. And basically, if you park there, you could either walk or bike around and it's a simple circle that's truck friendly, easy to clean.
So what Mike and I have found in lands that we've hiked up around, say, even like Half Moon State Park, is you're basically finding the old logging roads that people just haven't used in a long time.
Right.
And what usually happens is when the storm like last night, you might have walked it on Thursday, but now you go back, and Glenn knows if you hunted around or walked around, then there's a tree down right where you are. So there's that kind of ongoing maintenance of wherever you're mapping and wherever you're planning to go, you run into that. And that's where that kind of volunteer program, or if there's a group of school kids that want to have an outing, or Boy Scouts or something like that, you're involving them to just go and walk the trails to, throw out some dead sticks, push out this, keep the trails open. And then you've all seen those kind of safety fencing where, like at the bike path, like go back there to Castleton.
Yeah.
They've got like a 32-inch kind of an angled entranceway by a gate that nothing else can get through there except a human walking or a person on a bicycle. So they have those little kind of very simple protected little gate systems. So when you get to a place, you can ride through it, but you can't take a vehicle through it.
So I maintain 109 acres. It's basically like a park between my lands in Castleton, between Lily Pond and Lowe's Marsh, and I have it open to the public. And I don't have a game camera out there, but the usage is, I probably have 20 or 30 people a day from all over. San Diego, the people that are here right now because of the pandemic, working especially up around Lake Bomazene. And I just can't say how important it is to have recreational resources for this purpose. And I've never had, I've had a little litter, I've had firewood stolen, and I put a gate, small things like that. I really haven't had any type of, I've had a lot more thank you than not for doing it. And I maintain everything with a Husqvarna 5 horsepower big wheel lawnmower. And people go, what? You don't have a bush hog or a tractor? I go, no. I said, just a lawnmower on a high setting would be all you need for your Inman Pond loop to clean it up. Maybe someone might offer to have a bush hog. But I think the problem you may run into is biologically, with the state of Vermont rattlesnake habitat. You would probably at least have to have signage, which would be educational, that this is rattlesnake habitat.
Yeah, I'm not certain exactly what restrictions they place on hiking and recreational activity in regards to rattlesnake zones. I know they don't want me to brush hog my little patch of land from May 15th to October 15th. So when I have somebody do it, it's always late October. So that's, some of the restrictions are primarily usually mowing, something where you're going to kill or hurt a rattlesnake. But the other point I wanted to make is some of the trails for basic, I mean, you could have, and say at a football field size location, you could have 2 or 3 trails just in that size of a space, one football field. I mean, if it's sort of wooded, because you're going up a little hill and then you go around and then you go over this and around. So it's not like you need miles of terrain to end up with a variety of trails for a variety of levels. And so when we come back, we would take a picture of, or a little short video of some of the shorter trails that my 10-year-old grandson enjoys doing, because it's a rolly little hill. Then he goes back and rolls over the hill again. So there's a variety of, I did see 4 or 5 people who came down from Montpelier and Burlington, adults our age. They stayed 5 days at the Lake St. Catherine State Park, and they bicycled from our park. They had a van, kind of a camper van, one guy to pick up with some kayaks in it. So I took their picture and chatted with them, because that's a great starting point, is our park, to go in a lot of different directions. So Base Camp 1 is definitely the park. Base Camp 2 is obviously the airport. And from there, you can go in a lot of different directions. But they were here for 5 days, and they had never been to either Fairhaven or Lake St. Catherine State Park. And these were professional adults from Burlington and Montpelier. One was an attorney, one guy worked in a bank, one woman was,
Also, the town of Wells has already done this with their 100-something acres on Delaney Woods, and they have Slate Valley Trails maintaining the town of Wells' land. The town of Hubbardton purchased 200 acres, or is going to purchase 200 acres between High Pond and Ganson Hill Road. Belonged to the TLP, Tim Park of Hyattville, had this land. He was back on taxes. We voted to buy it, and some people were against it. Why do we need it? But they haven't. I mean, a small town like Hubbardton's even got their town forest. Now, the Fairhaven has had this town forest for years, but it's just an underutilized resource. And when everybody thinks of Fairhaven, we've got a beautiful park, but no one ever thinks of the North Woods, Mount Hamilton, Inman Pond, Howard Pond, Sheldon Pond. It's a gorgeous area.
So there could be some coordination, like not as big as Bass, but you certainly might have to coordinate with some private landowners. I saw Lynn Howard the other day, the Beverage King. I said, "Hey, Lynn, do you mind if I always ask her every year, do you mind if I ever ski or hike up through your part of the marsh or, Beaver Meadows?" She said, "No, that'd be fine." And I said, "Thank you." And about a day later, she calls me up and says, "Geez, Dave, be all right if my nephew and I take a hike up on your land?" So it was a reciprocating type of question. I don't think she's ever asked me in her lifetime, could you come back and walk? But it was just a nice, each one cooperating, or each one saying, "Hey, it's open to."
Well, the first thing, if you guys give us the basic, like Google basic maps of what the routes would be, basic routes would be, and suggested places for base camp parking places. Then we could go from there. It's
sure.
It's kind of a no-brainer.
It's pretty basic. I mean, it's from the airport to Sheldon Road to Inman Pond, one loop around it. That's without taking in any other town forest things right now. I know you own land up around Howard Pond, et cetera, which is totally taken over by like honeysuckle, et cetera. You wouldn't even be getting into that right now. You would just kind of focus on your most beautiful area, the little circle around in the pond. And it's really not a big deal. It's just a question of lopping and mowing and raking and cutting out whatever. Cutting out, there's a little logging road portion where it goes up a hill on the on one side of the water treatment plant. You know, it's a little bit hilly. But the rest of it's that big wide open. You've been there, Bob, in the past. So, I mean, I've got no interest in this. I mean, I'm not a town landowner. I've got plenty of land myself, but I just don't want to see Fairhaven be in the backseat on this. I mean, it's growing all around you. I mean, Castle's got that rail trail. They got a new bike shop. They got eateries. I put on a road ride every Friday. Hopefully I haven't heard any complaints on that. We have 10 to 12 people coming here from, Dr. Ciavla, a lot of the professionals from Rutland and Killington are coming over to Fairhaven because this is where the beauty is. This is where the roads are for road riding, even though it's mostly Washington County. It's got such nice roads. But the Lake Loop, Brook Loop, and it's just ideal over here compared to the outskirts of Rutland. Oh my God, the roads are in terrible shape. It's just not people friendly. You got a great place here, and we're not distributing a lot of money, but we're buying lunch every Friday, even though it's at the Ice House right now because we don't really have an eatery in town with outdoor seating that we're looking for. But you'll have it if this bar brewery opens up in the corner. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but low money at Durfee's, low gas money here. And see, this through biking that's getting really popular. Champlain Bikeway is right to the West Haven. It's stage road from Orwell to the West Haven Road to Brook Loop. But now, if people knew they could jump on Bigelow Hill, and Bigelow Hill, well, you're at Stewart's for a smoothie in Fairhaven without going on 22A. Hey, I didn't know you had a road to an airport that we could do that. Nobody knows. And that's a big thing is to get it out there that, we have an airport road to a town forest. Nobody knows you do it, Anyways, I just like sit Fairhaven, be in the ball game, and the youth of the town, it's a lot better than getting in trouble.
Some of the rec departments is your base group too that forms, let's say it's something.
Cross country running through Fairhaven High School. Now, be a great venue for the kids to go up and run that, combine it with Mount Hamilton, Kellaway property for a big uphill workout and circle, all from the high school.
And I think Rutland High School has like a little mountain bike club. So some of the schools are starting to actually provide options for than just the big team sports to have mountain bike clubs and stuff like that.
There's a path that goes to McDonald's. They don't have to go to McDonald's. They can turn right and go to the wilderness.
All right, so Bob, it sounded like bringing back a map and some plans of where to what we see as
What you guys see, what you guys run now, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect. Stop by anytime.
Yeah.
Am I still on, Joe, about? Sure.
We gotta bring you back again on the trip.
Nice seeing all you guys.
Good seeing you. Thank you for coming in.
Could be in that.
You have grandchildren?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God, I'm older than I thought.
Plenty of
Days march on.
And his wife.
See y'all later.
Good night.
See you later. Thanks, guys.
Don't forget the kids on horses.
There you go.
Kids that are on trail riding.
Why not?
That'd be perfect for them too. Yeah.
The little microphone.
Oh, sure.
No, I just wanted to make sure you didn't walk.
Yeah, no, I did my pocket.
We'd hunt you down.
Yeah.
I just wondered what it was this morning.
But you don't keep in touch, all right?
We will. Thank you.
Thanks. Couple weeks, so.
See you later, guys.
That's a nice positive thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's just take a moment and appreciate it.
It is, I mean, it's what people are looking for when they go to buy, to settle in a community.
My son.
They want that kind of stuff.
My mom on weekend.
Department head reports, we're back up there. You're the department head.
I'm the department head today. We're gonna start with DPW. A little update on paving. They're doing pretty good. The north mechanic, the portion that enters the school, that is paved and done. 2nd Street, Allen, and First still need to be shimmed. Everything else.
Did you grind 2nd Street?
Yes.
Yeah, I have been up there.
We're talking on 2nd Street. There's a manhole, or there's a drain that's destroyed. Look right down through it.
There's a damage. Hold on a second.
It's on the, if you come in from Washington Street, it's on the left-hand side of the road. About halfway up.
Okay. We'll get you guys.
I mean, it's gotta be done before they pave.
Oh, certainly.
It's that bad.
Yeah. We'll get it. Let's see, Depot Street. Depot Street is finished. They sunk a new catch basin. We piped the stormwater out to the river, and that was permitted through the Army Corps. What else do we got? They hope to be finished paving by the end of next week. It's all weather dependent. The guys are going to be moving to Scotch Hill next. That's on the agenda, starting, I think you said next week. Scotch Hill is going to be, they're going to cut some trees, ditch, and then armor the bank there with big stone. There's also, I think, 3 culverts that are going in. The one that keeps turning into a bump, we're tearing that out, putting a new culvert. Crosswalk painting is in process. They did go out and they cut brush on the back side of what do you call it? South
side?
South Town.
South side of the cemetery?
But where'd they cut it?
They trimmed up all over.
No, they did a nice job cleaning the sidewalk there, but they never touched the brush.
Yeah.
They never touched the brush in front of them stop signs.
So I went down, I didn't see any brush in front of the stop sign.
I'll take you down tomorrow.
I was gonna say, I did see one branch hanging in front of a stop sign. I think it was Pleasant Academy. And there's also a telephone pole that's about 25 yards away from a stop sign. There's some big weeds there. I'm just gonna catch that on my way in tomorrow.
Both sides on Pleasant Street and Academy Street, both new signs. If you come down the road, it's not right at the stop sign. You can't see the stop sign coming to it. And like I said, they did a nice job cleaning the sidewalk, but they never cut a piece of brush over it.
So I think I know what you're talking about, Jay. It's a little further down, and I'm just gonna catch it.
If you don't cut it, I'll go do it myself, because I've asked for this for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it on my way in. I'm just gonna bring my lockers in with me. Carol, your sign along with other signs is on order. They did get with the state, and they're about 6 weeks out for arrival.
Okay.
So we haven't forgot about you.
The Griffin Road.
Griffin
Road.
Water on Carnarvon, there was a spot where the water was pooling. I think it was at High Street. There was a small lake there. Just to let everybody know, that has been taken care of. They shimmed it. When they top coated, there will no longer be a puddle. Thank goodness. We're down to 80 meters. In terms of new meter replacement, they're down to 80 that need to be installed. For the sewer, we're at a 60% draft review for the plans. So they're moving forward with that. They've taken care of some of the minor things, like what kind of roof do the guys want on the shed, where the roads are going to go. So we'll be seeing some movement on that. Mowing is done. Roadside mowing is finished. And there was
what?
Mowing is done.
Have you been down south side?
I pretty much go around your blocks every time I come in.
Sorry, but down from the Legion down through, it's a mess.
Oh, on 22A?
Yeah, you'd think that'd be the place they'd want to take care of it because it's coming into the town.
Green Road and the other one, but they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, any place that's coming into town, that should be the first place they mow.
I
So it
will
looks good.
have them check that.
That's, where are you saying? From the
Across the roof, my house,
Oh, okay, yeah,
Right on.
yeah.
from your place down through.
All right, I will see what's going on with that. Any others?
I haven't been around any place else.
I went Swamp Road, looked good. I did all right. Done good.
But the other roads, except for brush,
Right.
we should be worrying about brush on these roads instead of Scotch Hill. But that's beside the point.
The police have been focusing on speeding. Their main targets are Main Street, Dutton and West, Main Street, Dutton West, and then River. We can expect to see a little bit of speeding on Carnarvon, so they're gonna focus on that once that's paved.
I talked to Dale the other night. He was up at the house, or he had a car, and I told him what a good job them guys are doing up there. And I want to make sure they know that I'm giving them credit, because they're done a heck of a job up there slowing cars down.
Yeah.
And the last I knew was like 45 cars or something. They ticketed 45 cars.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job. They're not there the same time all the time. They're sporadic, you know. So I just want to, I said to him, I complain when they don't do something, but I want to make sure I give them credit for doing something good.
Yeah.
And so.
Junk cars and dogs, citations were issued, but the property owner has had no movement. The chief is coming to the point where he'll be issuing tickets every day, which he is legally allowed to do. In terms of that, we did send out some letters about brush on the side of the roads impeding sight distance, as well as letters about these big maple trees on West Street, not Washington Street. Yeah, one of the big maples is cut down. They cut it yesterday, and we're getting compliance with the rest of the brush. I did have one gentleman call me and said, "Look, I'm going to do it in 2 weeks. Don't tear up my flowers." So we'll obviously.
Was that John?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he said he was having trouble getting his chipper.
Yeah, and, we're not out to.
That's what I told him.
Yeah. So, but yeah, folks are.
I would like to see that one on the end of Academy Street. Academy. Because somebody's going to get hurt.
Those folks have told me they would take care of it by the end of the month. If folks don't hold up, if the property owners don't hold up their end of the deal, the guys will go in with their loppers and chainsaws. Because
I really believe it's on there right away.
Yep. I'm not trying to, that sounds like I'm being kind of jerky, but it's kind of dangerous when you can't see what's coming around the corner. And we've asked a couple times.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Listen, before you were here, we asked them to cut that brush on corner, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a long time trying to get that place.
So the chief, if we remember, the police donated a new car. They're putting the equipment back in it. They don't have a timeline yet, but they're working on, what's the word I'm looking for? Getting it up and running. When that car's up and running, then they're going to put that old Durango. They're going to put the old Durango up for sale.
Letter, all right.
Oh, yeah, I guess we will.
Please not do this. The lettering that you put on the other car. The shadow lettering.
Yeah.
I'm asking nicely.
Yeah, that should be letter.
If that's the car, I see him. I don't know if the chief was in there. The car had municipal plates on. So is that the one that they got?
I haven't seen it.
It's a Ford, I think.
I really
Is
don't.
that the car? The car looks excellent. The car really looks nice. I thought I saw him the other day at the restaurant. As a matter of fact, I think Griffin up here too.
We did have some vandalism on the playground, and the police have stepped up presence up there. We still need to get that the trailer fixed.
Are we locking a gate at night?
Yes, they should be
Lock everything.
locked. Yeah. The big, you talk about the driving gate.
Right there, it is when you first come in, but
Yeah. Okay, that was them. Yeah, this is me. So So we talked about grants for this, for the town hall last time. I wrote 2 grants. The one was for the downstairs bathroom like the board requested. It wasn't the best thing that I've ever written. It just wasn't very compelling. It sounded like we're just asking for money because we want nice new bathrooms. So I did write a second for a sprinkler system. I don't know if the board wants to stick with just one or both, or just the bathroom grant. It's your money, so I wanted to ask you what you wanted to do. And
Well, you don't have either of them yet, right?
no,
We don't really have to make that decision until we have to go forward, right? Or
You
Or you-
want to know if you want to put in an additional one, so we have 2?
yeah, should,
That's all
I mean,
I'm
do you
asking.
care if I submit 2
Submit
applications?
2 and then make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to get the grant.
It's,
I'm saying.
why not?
it's,
As long as, as long as you have time to do that.
I wrote them already. The one just didn't sound, it wasn't compelling at all. It's just, it's hard to make a bathroom sound.
It was just, but the only thing I say on the bathroom, if it's not ADA compliant, we got to get it done. I
Right.
don't want to be doing sprinkler systems if I didn't upgrade my bathroom.
Yeah.
Let's,
That would make it
But you
compelling.
can't get it done until you know the upstairs is safe.
and that's,
Yeah.
right, that's the other.
But this bathroom grant you're talking about.
In fact, these bathrooms here should be done.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah, because I don't really think they're ADA compliant anyway.
Is there enough money in the building fund to do the bathroom?
Just go.
Oh, no.
There's not, okay.
No.
Well,
Why
there's
is-
probably enough to do any matchings that we have to do, I would say.
Oh, out of matching? Yeah, you have grant funds for matching.
No, I mean, out of the building fund. Where are you using the building fund?
Building fund is for the heat system on this, for the building, and that's matched towards the entire elevator project, yeah. Oh, the tech block painting was done.
That looks awesome.
I've got a lot of compliments on that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Is there any more talk about doing the one on the old,
Turkey?
Yeah.
on, yeah, Green Block? I wouldn't say the old
Lorraine's
one.
checking with people at home, trying to get a hold of
I
people.
saw some notes on Facebook about that, but I didn't know if it was true, if we're pursuing that or not.
Yeah, they are looking, they're trying to get the people that own the building now.
Mm-hmm.
She's been trying to get in touch with them, I guess.
Like the group of people, so.
But that's their next, that's the next
Green
one
block.
to do.
That, you know that she does, most of the time she doesn't do on-site murals. She does it on a sheet, on a film screen,
Mhm.
and then it's like wallpapered on it.
Oh,
But this one she had to do
it
it.
would last longer.
She did a nice job.
And it's really nice. She's pretty talented.
Wasn't that a picture that was already there?
Yes, and that's why she had to do it there. She couldn't,
I'd like to see that kind of thing done at the railroad abutment on River Street.
Oh, inside it, you mean?
Inside.
Oh, yeah.
Inside.
There's some place where I've gone through where they've got
Bethel,
fish and stuff in it.
in Bethel.
Is that where it is?
Yeah,
Okay,
Bethel,
yeah.
yeah.
That's not a painting though. That's a metal.
Yeah, those are metal sculptures, yeah.
It's
you're-
like
it
the
is.
Little things
scales
like that
on
that
it.
will spruce things up.
Oh, yeah, it invites, when people see that coming from the south, that's, somebody cares.
While we're talking about that, there's a huge elm tree in front of that big white house.
Yep.
But they just measure that and see if that's anywhere near town right away. 'Cause
Yeah.
that blocks, when you come down South Street, come over the bridge, or over the railroad tracks, that tree kind of blocks. And there's no leaves on it, it's deader than a mackerel, so.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know if it started falling, it'd take the power wire, so maybe CV would, but,
Yeah, Doan's coming next week. We're gonna take that.
have them look at that tree and see if there's something they can do with it.
No, he's coming to cut that tree down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that thing's dead as can be.
Good.
No, we had to schedule that.
No, that's CV. He's gonna cut it down.
No.
Oh, all right, okay. You said CV. isn't it?
I was gonna ask the board, do we want to formally talk about closing the alley? Should I put that on an agenda? Put it in the parking lot?
What do you mean the alley?
The alley downtown?
The alley.
The,
On Maples.
Okay, yeah. For what, safety reasons?
I would say safety, yeah. Plus, I think it would be a nice addition just for the downtown block. You can do a little decoration, maybe put seating inside there. It seems like it would be, using it to drive through doesn't, it's not you being used in the best way, the way it is now.
Are there, are there people that would be up in arms if we close it though, that use, I don't know.
I know one of the property owners. But it also, it's the winter maintenance deteriorating the buildings.
Buildings?
Because the salt is eating the bricks even where you guys used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, there's a metal door on the back of there. The salt, I'm in favor of it, so.
It'd be a nice little place, sitting place, you know.
You could even set their park up there.
That's what I thought, it'd be a nice spot to sit, and it can be shady.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll put that on the parking lot, and then we'll start moving forward with it as time permits. Hang on, we're almost done.
Heard that before.
Yeah, yeah, wait, I got one more thing. 30 South Main, so the real estate agent's contract is up. If the board doesn't care, I'm just gonna get a sign and put for sale out there. For sale by town.
Is that the land?
Yeah, that vacant land right there.
No, yeah, just make it, don't make it look like you bought it at the outlet.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get one made. Okay.
On that same one, you said you wanted to check with us at this meeting about the grant for the sidewalks there. Do we have?
Oh, yeah.
Did you want to check with us on that?
I do, thank you. So the pedestrian grant is open now to rebuild sidewalks. It's an 80-20 match. We're guessing it will probably be about $500,000 to replace all that sidewalk.
Sidewalk where?
In front of downtown.
Downtown.
All of the downtown sidewalks. Is that something the board would like to pursue? It would be about $100,000 out of grant match. Or streets and sidewalks.
As long as you're not putting the grass in. I'm all for the sidewalks.
Oh, really?
Right.
We won't put a grassy area.
I was just going to say, this was just saying sidewalks. It didn't say anything
I'm
about.
all for the sidewalks, but the sidewalks need to be taken care of.
They do. Okay, so I'm gonna start on that. Aaron asked me today, so we'll tag team that and get that done. Thank you, Tom.
Either was something else.
So, yeah. We met with the insurance company and our claims are looking great. I'm still working on a harassment training. I have reached out to 3 companies that do this and none of them have gotten back with me. I talked to our insurance company who said, yeah, our sister company does that. They haven't got back with me, so we're still trying. Road paving moving, check what's done. Oh, and we applied for grants for I think it was $20,000 in technology grant through the state for COVID money. And that is it.
Very good.
Okay, personnel policy, which we have been avoiding for a very long time.
I thought we went through and
I thought we were.
It's the final.
It's just the final approval.
I don't think you were here that meeting.
That may be.
Yeah, we did the last, the pages, and what you have is the final.
Okay, all right. I didn't see anything that jumped out at me except that when we get this, when can we start enforcing it?
Nope, right away.
Okay, good.
Today.
I'll make a suggestion
Okay. Okay.
afterwards. Okay. So.
We wouldn't accept it?
Right, I need a motion.
Yep.
I think we need a motion.
You want a motion?
Yep, well, okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the new personnel policy as written.
I'll second
it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Sounds like
We have a new personnel policy. Good.
Oh, that's the first thing you
Take
picked.
that out of the parking lot too.
It's been a long time, Carol. I just itched to cross things off.
Nice job, man. This is nice.
A lot of help.
So, enforce the smoking.
Yeah.
It's very simple to enforce smoking. No, but they're smoking at the dump. They're not wearing masks.
Oh,
In the building.
In the
are
building.
they smoking in the building?
I don't know, you smell it coming out the window when they're up there, so.
Gray in there.
Also smoking in vehicles.
They
Smoking.
shouldn't be smoking in vehicles.
Jeff, if you get a chance, you want to sign that sometime?
Will do.
Thank you. USDA loan resolution for wastewater plant.
Yep, so this is for, the chair to sign. This is a resolution for the board saying that you will take the loan from USDA and that you promise to pay it back.
Yeah. There's always catches.
Well, this is the one we've been discussing very long anyway, right?
Right. Yeah.
There's a grant portion of this, and then this is the loan portion.
So, do you need a
So do you
motion
need a
for that?
motion?
I need a motion.
I'll make the motion that we sign off on the resolution that allows the town to incur debt from the USDA for the wastewater plant upgrade.
You might as well put that number in there.
What is the number? Of, where are you looking at the number?
3 million.
$3,720,000.
After a while, it becomes real money. Good. Is there a second?
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There. We're into it.
We're official.
Girl did. You gotta assert yourself.
I remembered that old joke tonight. Remember when they say, I second, I carried it, you finally go to, I ate it.
I ate
it.
Oh.
Okay, now, just because we're having so much fun with wastewater, let's do it again, or with water. Fee for refusing water replacement.
Yep, so we're down to, isn't this fortuitous? We're down to 80 meters. We're coming into the group of folks that are just holding out because they don't want a new meter. We're asking the board to approve a $25, it's $100 a month fee, attached every Monday to the water bill.
Oh, God, do we want to do that right now?
I'd like to see this stuff. I'd like to wait until we get it straight around before you start putting.
If you want to weigh it?
That's my tip.
I don't know if I want to poke beer again right now.
Hold up.
I say, let's wait until we get the results back from what's.
We're gonna have
what's happening.
some data.
Yeah, okay,
And
that's.
that way there, then you got something with teeth that you go back, because you got proof that something. I think, personally, I'd say we should wait until next time.
I'm good with that, but I talked to a businessman downtown who's absolutely refusing to. He's not gonna.
That's a different story, but I mean.
You're not gonna do it, so I said, what are you talking about?
But if we've got teeth, if we've got results from these meters, proven that there's nothing wrong with them.
That's.
And I still say if the people had been explained in this bill, that it was a 4-month bill and not a 3, I feel that there'd be a lot less static.
It didn't help that it was 4 months and it was summer.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's what the real whack was, 100%.
And just a little touch on, I told Bob, people watering their gardens. I was watering my garden a half an hour every other night. 250 gallons was all it took to water a gallon for that was constant watering for a half hour. That's what 250 gallons. And that was the most. Some days it wasn't even that much. You know, whether it was the sprinkler I was using or what it was. But, so it's not, watering your garden isn't that big of a deal. So I understand a pool because when I had the pond, I used to fill it once a week. So, but all they gotta do if they're gonna fill their pool is go down, take your meter reading, fill the pool, come back, break the meter reading, and you know what a pool is gonna take. I mean, it's no way to they can beat you. And just have them date it when they're doing it. And so,
Well, there is a certain amount of personal responsibility that people have to take for their own thing, but I mean, we gotta make sure that, I mean, like I said, we gotta make sure our processes are right, that we're doing everything right, that they're, you know, like Mike said, they learned something about the system that they didn't know before. So they gotta stay up on top, that's all.
And for the pools, when we sent those slips out, which didn't come up, but somebody sent back, you know, they called Bev and said, I forgot to send my numbers in, you know, for my pool, so she took care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's gonna happen.
You know,
just date them.
it's, you know.
That's all.
Okay, so, go on. Petition requirement for ballot article submission.
Yeah, so, I guess some towns are not requiring a petition to put their, nonprofit warrant article on our ballot, you know, to request $1,000 for ARC or whatever nonprofit might be.
The cast from senior center, you mean those.
Those folks.
Yep.
Some towns are not requiring a petition this year because of COVID, and it was asked that we bring it to the board and ask the board, do you still wish to have a petition, or do you want to just kind of, whoever comes can put their petition on?
I wouldn't mind doing it for this year, or
For the ones
pulling it for
that
the year,
we had on.
but I wouldn't want to give in on it.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, I can see the idea of not being able to get petitions. They, you know, nominating petitions for all state offices were suspended because people couldn't vote or.
I still think if they put one on, there should be representative of the town to explain.
I think that's a fair trade.
It is.
Yeah, because you sit there and, I mean, that's 30 years.
So you have some kind of an idea what's being spent on.
Yeah.
Especially if you see one that all of a sudden goes crazy because they have to put signatures.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. That's.
Are we gonna be able to walk it back?
Sure. I don't see why not. I think, you know, this isn't gonna go on forever. And, I don't have a problem with, I don't have a.
What if the motion is stating that it's just for this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
The motion is going to state for, 2021, right?
Yep, March 21, yes.
And then goes back, March of 2022, it goes back the way it was before. That's my motion.
You get that, Claire?
And I second his motion.
You get that, Claire?
Yeah.
Perfect.
By tomorrow morning,
We'll have it.
You'll have it all fleshed
Claire.
out.
Just give me a call if you don't remember.
Everybody understand what we're doing?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
All right.
Thank you.
That'll make sense.
Unanimous.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Jeff, did you oppose?
No.
No, I support it.
Okay. Your yay was a little late.
Takes me a minute to unmute. Sorry.
Parking lot stuff. Anybody got anything jumping out at it?
I marked down the alley closing.
Yeah, we put that in. The lawyer got back with me about Lewis Lane at like 5 o'clock today. He's said he got the information that we sent him. I'll call him tomorrow. Hopefully we can button that up at the next meeting.
Yeah, we really should. It's getting to the point where we're going to be in trouble.
I really think we should just, that's my great feeling. I think it's going to end up costing us a lot of money.
I think that's what the lawyer's going to tell us anyway, right?
And that way they can hire somebody to plow it now, and you got plenty of time to do it. And we won't have that responsibility.
I don't know why we wouldn't take that road over. I just don't know why we would.
Because the other road isn't wide enough.
I'm not talking about, I'm talking just straight in.
If we did just a straight in, they wouldn't have a problem with it, but it's that other loop. Where the asphalt and all the other stuff is,
I
it's gonna
wouldn't,
cost us some money.
yeah, I wouldn't deal with that. I would just,
The straight one in.
I do that as the compromise. Anyways, let's talk about it next time. Anything else on the parking lot? Anybody? Okay, board roundtable.
Pass.
Nothing?
No.
Are they gonna topsoil and seed around the new sidewalks?
I have an email to him about the topsoil and seed and also about an oddly placed street sign, and I haven't heard back. So I'm still poking him.
I'd still like to see them look at that one up on my hill. I'm just afraid the town's gonna catch it in wintertime. I mean, I think it could be just done with some asphalt. Because it sticks out about that far.
We need to go for a ride, 'cause I do literally drive by the cemetery almost every time I come in, just to make sure, you know.
No, but that's right on the corner, the new one they put in. I'm just afraid because the town will back up and plow back in, you know.
Yeah.
And if they're plowing close to the sidewalk, like I said, that new sidewalk hangs out there about that far. And all I'd like to see is just put some asphalt or something in there.
What time do you want?
I'm up every.
If I showed up.
Well, not at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Let's say 7:45.
No, I might, well, not probably not.
I'll call you. Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, that's about that. Oh, manhole on South Main Street in front of Mr. Richards' house. This side of Mr. Richards' house. You're gonna bust it out. Trucks, yeah, it's this side, just up from my apartment house. The trucks are hitting terrible.
Rattle my house like this.
Really, and I was over looking at it, it even looks like the manhole itself is starting to move. And they just paved around it. So even if they pave, either get one of them rubber bushes to put in it or pave over top it, because there's about an inch of depth from where they paved. So it's hitting, not only is it's, the manhole is lower than the pavement.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's, I'm afraid it's gonna break it. You hear the trailers go over top of it, and I mean, it really does a number on it.
All right.
And then the only other thing I got, what's happening with their curb cleaning up? The high grass and the roadside part of it.
I'm gonna be up.
They did the one on the corner, they did the one in front of Stewart's.
Yep.
Yeah, that's terrible though, even cleaned up. I wish it could
They could have rigged
look
it up.
different next year. I don't know, dig it out, put some flowers or something in.
But
That's a really busy corner.
With the curbs, even on the curbs, all the way to our house, they're high.
yeah,
I mean, legally, if you want to really, if the people want to really press it, town should be mowing from the sidewalk to the road.
yeah, I don't think they touched it at all, Jay. I'm not.
No, but I'm just saying, I don't want to see that happen, but
No.
really, the town owns that part, so.
I'll let the guys know again. They are trying to get some of the bigger construction projects done.
No, I just think that,
We'll keep them up on it.
I just think that should help make the town look just a little bit nicer.
I agree.
And what else? I guess there's really nothing else. The road jobs, I've been watching the guys paving. Because Bob called me one day because he thought it didn't look good, like where they ended up.
Mhm.
The first part of it, all they were doing is just level. And I did go up today, Mechanic Street looks really good from 4A to the high school. I didn't check Pine Street, I don't think they've done that one yet. They had started leveling on Grape Street.
Yep, they were done.
I think they're down there, but what they're doing now, all they're doing is putting a base in. I think they might have did one lane on Canard. Because I think part of it's still dirt. I don't think they've got both sides of it done.
When do they expect to have Carnarvon done?
I don't have an individual street.
They'll have-
I just know by next week it'll be done.
They'll have the base down, Bob, so it won't be dusty.
There's a wedding going on there Saturday.
No, because I think they've already started on.
I'm telling you, you don't want to get Mary Alice out there, man.
No,
I'll let them know that there's gonna be a large event.
I think if they just shim it, they won't be dusty.
Yeah, right.
So they'll take care of it.
Oh, they were down there sweeping today and it was kicking up, man.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's it for me.
Only had one, someone had a safety concern that they brought up about when we did Grape Street and we went in and around the sewer, fixed that line, that we brought the box down on the back of the truck, but didn't use the box when we went in the hole. And I don't know if we did or not, but knowing that we had some past experience of, and had quite a few discussions around the use of a safety box. I just want to make sure we double check that if we've got people going into holes, there better be a box.
Trust me, that stuff comes through here deep. We put a water line in there.
And I don't know, like I said, all it was a concern that got a call, and I'm pretty sure. I said, well, just double check.
Yeah, I'll double check on
We sure will. That's all I have.
Jeff?
I'm good.
Okay. The only thing I have is, they don't wear masks at the dump.
Yeah, we've had that conversation at least 3 times now.
Right.
It's starting to become.
I don't say anything. I'm biting my tongue.
Well,
That's where they see the public the most.
Yep.
That and smoking.
And the smoking, I mean, that.
Which we've also addressed, but it doesn't.
And then, like you said, like you say, you don't want to see nothing but the mask. I don't want to see nothing but the smoking either, because then they get all torqued up, telling me I'm stepping on my, you know.
Well, I don't want to be the one, I don't want to be the, get accused of micromanaging.
Proper channels.
Yeah, no, this is my job a little bit. Yeah, 100%.
You know, and I think they should be told, this isn't like the first time you spoke. Yeah, you know, and 3 times in a row. Come on. Either start doing what you're supposed to do. I mean, they're good workers, don't get me wrong, but if it says we're supposed to be wearing a mask, that's what we're supposed to do. And that's why I was heading out here tonight, because I forgot to bring my mask in. And
the rest of us wear masks.
Yeah, and it's not a big deal, you know?
You get used to it.
Weirdly, I'll sit down in my office and it'll still be on. And I got one to get used to it.
I got one with a hole.
Okay. Review of financial reports.
Motion to pay the general fund warrant, $95,098.81.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pay the
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Motion to pay the payroll warrant, $33,360.28.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's up because of the summer help, correct?
Yeah. The
payroll.
It's been running up there.
No, you know what? So we did have a little bit of overtime to get that mower up and running and get it out on the road.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but we're still up on our salary because of winter, or the summer help.
They're a part of it, yeah. Because we got.
Because usually we're like
guys.
28,000.
Right.
27, 28,000.
Yep.
We've been up averaging a little higher, and I think it used to be 26 all the time.
Yeah,
Now
well,
it's,
I mean, you've got a pay raise, I mean, in between, but still, I mean, when it goes from 28 to 33,
Yeah,
just,
it is 3, got 3 summer guys.
and the girls,
2 now.
recreation.
Oh, yeah, the girls rec, yeah. There's a lot of those.
okay. Checkbook status, did you do that, Jeff?
$326,082.79.
Thank you.
No problem.
And now we will go into executive session, so I make that motion.
I'll make the motion to go in executive session for civil litigation 1 BSA 313A1 and personnel 1 BSA 313A4.
Second? Sure. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Executive session at
9 o'clock.